A girl Sil wakes up and is looking for a way to escape in her containment. Sil's violent outbursts during sleep make scientists consider her a threat. They try to kill her using cyanide gas. The research team leader Fitch looks at her with sorrow and tears and nods for the operation to continue. As the cyanide gas is released inside Sil's containment, the research team gets sympathetic, but she breaks out and the scientists start to suffocate as a result of exposure to cyanide gas. Sil continues with the escape and climbs metal gauze swiftly as the military run after her. She jumps out and runs inside the bush. A helicopter flies after her along with military vehicles and foot soldiers. Sil dreams of an alien as a homeless man tries to molest her in sleep. She wakes and throws him to the wall, which breaks his bones and gets terribly disfigured as he dies. The military continue with their search. Sil is seen in a train wearing the clothes of the homeless man she killed. She goes to a grocery store trying to steal but get caught. She steals someone's bag and hurriedly goes back to the train. She opens the bag and brings out a portable playing device which excites her as she watches some programs. She effortlessly opens a locked drawer and steals some money, goes inside the train kitchen and steals some bananas as well. As she is about to eat, a train warden comes in and demands for her ticket, which she pays, and the warden asks her age, thinking someone will receive her in LA because Sil looks like a minor. Fitch and his team see the homeless dead man badly disfigured in a boxcar. One of the agents says he can't believe that the little girl did this. Fitch tells him that she is not a little girl and gives her possible location and orders for her killing. While sleeping, Sil has another dream of an alien train running her down. When she wakes up, she eats chocolates hastily and notices her hands are pulsating. She goes to the mirror crying as tentacles start to emerge from underneath her skin. As she struggles, she gets overwhelmed by the alien tentacles inside the train room and mass to form an organic cocoon around her. The government assembles a team composed of anthropologist Dr. Stephen Arden, molecular biologist Dr. Laura Baker, empath Dan Smithson and mercenary Preston Press Lennox to track and destroy Sil. The train warden who collected Sil's ticket initially wants to check on her and finds that the whole room is messy with foods. As her curiosity grows, she sees a bizarre creature transforming within the cocoon. The warden comes closer. Sil grabs and kills her and emerges as a blonde, 20-something adult woman naked with the dead warden lying on the train floor. Fitch and his team meet with the government recruits and he gives them the full story on how Sil originated. It is SETI, Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, programmed scientists in 1974 in order to get life outside Earth sent out a transmission with data about Earth and its inhabitants. In 1993, they got 2 transmissions from Alien. The first information is about how to create fuel without much work using methane catalyst, which seems to be from a friendly extraterrestrial. The second transmission gives scientists information with instructions on alien DNA sequence and how to splice it with human DNA. A research team led by Xavier Fitch induced the DNA in a female, believing it to be more docile. Out of the 100 ova that the DNA was induced, 1 formed a normal human being, but 3 months later it became a 12-year-old. Dan tells Fitch that Sil is afraid and feels threatened, which he agrees on. As Fitch narrates all these, it frightens and terrifies them. Fitch wants them to decipher their mission. Press bluntly asks Fitch that he wants them to kill a monster that they created with his team. Fitch nods. Laura asks if Sil could be captured alive for further experimental purposes. Lennox tells Laura that this is strictly a search and destroy operation. Sil arrives in Los Angeles. This makes tracking her extremely difficult. She is disguised as a warden wearing the clothes and cap of the warden that she killed in the train. She has extraordinary strength and intelligence with amazing regenerative powers. She is attractive with her blonde. Security operatives hold the girls in search of Sil. As she leaves the train station, she gazes at one little girl. Now Sil has integrated fully into the society as a human being. Fitch and his team come into the train and see the warden lying dead. Dan insists that Sil is threatened and afraid because he can read Sil's emotions. The scientists fear she may seduce someone to copulate with her in order to reproduce, and any offspring could eventually exterminate mankind. Sil lacks inhibitions when it comes to harming or even killing people who get in her way and wants to reproduce as soon as possible. In LA, Sil buys a very gorgeous gown from a female seller and sees that she is pregnant. The woman talks to Sil, but she keeps silence and answers only one question. Sil is seen moving around gazing strongly at pregnant women and kids. She rents a hotel room and watches programs that have to do with romance and beauty, which turns her on because she wants to mate and breed. Finch and the recruits are in a laboratory experimenting on the alien cell, trying to get its vulnerability. The camera goes off. When they turn it on again, the bolt falls off when they try to lock it. As they search for it, they discover that the cell is rapidly growing and immediately starts to grow tentacles at a rapid rate. Laura and Press try to escape the containment, but Fitch refuses to open the doors despite pressures from them. Press put it on flames. Press stabs it with a metal thinking that it is dead. It rises again. Fitch set up the fire timer. As he refuses to open the door, Dan drags Fitch out of the way as Arden hits the exit button, which opens the door for them to escape. Within a short time, the containment unit goes in flame. Sil goes to a nightclub and sees a man whom she talks with. As she is about to approach, another lady interrupts their conversation and leaves. Sil goes after her in the restroom and kill her. The team arrives and sees the dead lady in the restroom dismembered. She tries first to mate with a man she met at a nightclub, but she rejects him after sensing something in him. He persists, but Sil kills him by rupturing his skull with her tentacle tongue. Press and the team come into the man's house when Sil is taking shower cleaning up. Press sees the dead man and opens up the bathroom, but Sil is gone. Fitch and the team wonder why the man was killed, and Laura sees an insulin bottle and they now know why Sil refused to mate with him, because he had diabetes. Press mocks Fitch with the docile and controllable female DNA. Laura collects her menstrual blood with a swab. As Sil is walking in the streets, she gazes lustfully at a man skating and get hit by a car. As she receives treatment in the hospital, the doctor notices a healing shoulder and gets baffled. Sil leaves in a hurry. The man that took her to the hospital and paid her bills gets amazed to see her recover so fast and asks her if the doctor consents of her leaving. She says yes and tells him that they should go. They check the blood sample that they collected along with the doctor that saw her shoulder under the microscope and confirms it is her sample. Press and the team arrive at the hospital and the receptionist gives the data of the man that took Sil to the hospital and confirms his address and phone number. Press and Laura try to contact the man on phone, but Sil distracts him from leaving the pool. As Press and Laura arrive at the man's house, Sil and the man hear a sound on the door. The man tries to check it out, but Sil holds him back and tells him that he wants a baby. The man gets shocked and tries to escape the pool, but Sil drowns him and her alien nature begins to manifest. Press looks for a way to break into the house. Sil's alien form manifests in full and the man still struggles to take breath, but she prevents him by putting her tentacles in his mouth so he does not alert them. Press approaches with a gun along with Laura. Press and Laura enter and see the man dead in the pool with blood. Press and Laura go inside the bush as Sil peeps at Press with her alien eye. Sil is naked and rushes after a woman in her car begging for help. She is seen driving the woman's car with her clothes on. She stays inside the car and gazes at Fitch that's with the team. Sil reads Fitch's lip and discovers that they are going to the club. She tracks Press as he enters the elevator. Sil later dreams of seducing Press. She kidnaps and ties the lady she stole her car in the bed. Sil wants the lady she abducts to assume her identity. She cut her thumb with pliers, which regenerates. The lady sees it and frights. She cuts hers as well. She then goes to a gas station, buys fuel and steals another man's car. She intentionally appears in front of Dan, who alerts others, and she drives off hurriedly with the girl she has kidnapped. They all run after her. Fitch orders a helicopter and they all go into a wild car chase. Sil then drives inside a slope bush, loading the car with gallons of fuel along with the kidnapped lady, and jumps off the car while the car hit on a high voltage transformer, exploding and killing the abducted lady. Fitch and the team think that Sil is dead. Sil disguises herself by dyeing her hair black. They celebrate her death in the club. Press sees a blonde lady and turns her mistaken her for Sil, but later apologizes. Laura goes to a mirror and Sil approaches her and asks for a perfume, which Laura gives her and asks if it can turn a man on, and Laura says yes. She then starts to stalk Press by approaching him in the elevator. Press compliments Sil's perfume aroma and then leaves off the elevator. But Sil continues to stalk him. He enters into Laura's room. Press and Laura's romance turns Sil on as she hears through the door. She enters the next room and continues to feel their lovemaking. Arden comes in his room and gets seduced by Sil and they mate. Dan sees a vision and senses that Sil is present. He knocks on the room where Press and Laura are and tells Press that he suspects Sil is with Arden in the next room. Press brings a gun with Fitch, Dan and Laura present. Press breaks inside. Sil breaks the wall and escapes. Arden is seen lifeless with wounds and blood. Press shoots Sil but misses the shots. They see a hotel warden lying lifeless too. They run after her and Fitch gets a weapon. They enter the wall that Sil has bored. Fitch, Dan and Laura go into the underground and see a dead person that Sil has just killed. Press meets with them as they continue their hunt. They see an open sewer, realizing that's the route she has gone through. Press puts a flamethrower and goes on first. They all go after him. They come to a two-way passage with water and become confused on the path Sil might go. Fitch persuades Dan to show them the way with his physic abilities. Dan points to the left. Press and Laura move towards there, but Fitch becomes skeptical of Dan's direction and moves towards the right. Dan notices a bubble. Suddenly the bubbles stop and start where Fitch is. As he observes the bubble, Sil suddenly grabs Fitch and jumps inside the water in her real alien form. The others get alerted and rush towards. They come at the attack site and see Fitch killed and devoured floating in the water. As they further their hunt, Syl in her real form hides on top. Alien Syl suddenly jumps inside the water and this alerts them. Dan senses and shows them the way as they enter into a cave. Syl is about to born a baby. They come inside a cave and separate. Dan with his psychic ability finds Syl's paths and trails her. A newborn boy comes out from a hole, sees and eats a rat swiftly by stretching his tongue. Dan sees the alien boy and tries to calm him but attacks him with his alien long tongue. Dan falls off as the newborn starts to transform immediately. Dan regains but the newborn disappears. He turns to an alien and tries to attack Dan but he blasts him in with a flamethrower and slides off hanging the cliff. Syl's son falls inside the oil which catches fire. Press runs after Syl but gets entangled on the neck and gets hung by Syl's tentacles. Press struggles and cuts the tentacle with his knife. Alien Syl tries to attack Press but he shoots her severely and she falls inside the flame. Dan tries to climb up with the help of Laura and Press but the alien Syl grabs Dan on the leg trying to pull him inside the oil fire. Press manages to load his grenade launcher with one hand, which he curses and shoots Syl. This explodes Syl's head leaving her dead for good. As they leave, a rat eats Syl's severed tentacles and mutates. The rat stretches and swallows another rat. Thanks for watching, please subscribe for more.